Everyone. It is Tuesday, March 29th, 2022. Welcome to the Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine show. I am your host, Camila, aka Sunshine. We are live on grooveradiodetroit.com. We are live on Spotify, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe. It is the name of the show. I'm not sure who that is that's coming on the show.
That's one of my admins by mistake. She shouldn't be on here.
We are also live on my Facebook page, which I will make public now. Again, our main focus again is I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You are one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. It has been proven over and over again since we started this show in 2020. I am looking for the Facebook page. Not restricted only.
Once you've shared it to yours, then I'll be able to share it to mine.
Oh, I guess I'm in Facebook jail.
What?
Yeah, it just said you can't go live for 29 days. For what? I do not know, and it must have just happened.
Whoa. Are you able to share it onto my page somehow or my group?
It's not showing live on my Facebook page for whatever reason. I'm in Facebook jail, whatever that means. That's weird.
That means you can't go live.
It's live on the other platforms.
Um,
So weird. The devil is a lie.
okay, so what other way can we share it onto Facebook?
Um, I don't even know how I'm gonna even do that because it's not letting me go live on Facebook. Hold
It
on.
says host disabled participant screen sharing. If you let me make me like an admin or something here, I might be able to share it.
Not sure what's going on. It's not letting me go live on Facebook. So if your admin can go to the YouTube channel, it's live there.
On YouTube,
Yes, that's
what's
the
a
name of the
YouTube
show.
channel?
Mm-hmm.
What's a YouTube channel?
It's the name of the show. Keeping it real conversations with Sunshine.
Okay.
So while we getting this together,
Okay. I think we'll be able to share like this for now.
okay.
Share the
So,
YouTube.
I don't know what's going on, but again, they're showing that my page is under restrictions for whatever reason. So again, we're gonna get into the conversation. Our guest today is Lizette Vargas, transformational intuitive coach, inspirational keynote speaker, and healer. Born in Puerto Rico, number 6 of 7 children. Came here to the U.S. at the age of 4.5. Was raised in Newark, New Jersey, where she went to school and later had her own business. After 10 years of marriage, moved to Portugal and then Spain for business. But this was also where she came into her spiritual gifts channel. After moving and back to the U.S., she ended up divorcing and kept raising her 2 children, Brian, 31, and Brianna, 26. At one point, it felt like the end as she lost it all, but only to be her biggest awakening and blessing because she had turned this all around. In her own words to her kids, failure is not an option. So she kept gradually working her business, and everything changed as she grew. Today, she runs her own Facebook group for over 8 years, Healing Hands Community, a place for the brokenhearted and for those who are living in darkness and despair. With over 6,000 members, or 60, is it 6,000 or 60,000?
6,000.
Members and many followers, she has a team of 12 admins to help her run her pages. She and brings inspiration and motivation to her followers. Lizette has helped hundreds of clients through their transformation after joining her amazing program, Fly Butterfly Movement, which also has helped so many people heal their wounds that kept them stuck. This has led Lizette into owning her own business as a spiritual entrepreneur, making her own energy spray, oils, and bath remedies, creating her own products. She mentors many through her leadership and guidance by means of posting, live videos, or video chat calls with clients all over the world. She is internationally known and loved by many. Bringing in over 20 years experience as an entrepreneur, Lizette helps others find their specific calling and passion where they can find their creativity into building their own businesses or starting new careers that can bring them into a high vibration and living their best life now. So again, this evening, our first guest for tonight is I want you to welcome Lizette Vargas to the show.
I get an applause.
Absolutely. How are you this evening?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. I'm really happy to be here. Actually, it's funny how we had a few technical difficulties getting started, and I'm not going to get upset. I'm just saying, boy, big things are coming. That's all I hear.
That's all I keep. And that's the only way I can think of it because I'm like, in all this time, I've never had that issue. And I'm looking like, why isn't it going live? Why is saying, you're restricted? I'm like, how? What are you talking about? So,
There's purpose behind everything. I believe that.
so again, let's get into this conversation. Um, being that you are a part of the Latino community, correct?
Correct.
I will say you're my first person that's been my guest that is not um African American or white descent. So I welcome you, and I want people to understand that this show is about diversity, and so I'm excited again for to have you here, to hear the exciting stories that you want to share about the healing community, about how you got into business, and to help people to um help heal themselves, as far as the old wounds that we end up putting in our past, and it keeps resurfacing, and we all kind of sometimes move in our emotions versus letting ourselves be healed. So Being born in Puerto Rico, moved here to the United States at 4.5 years old. What do you have any memory of being in Puerto Rico at all?
Very, very little. I have just very few moments. I believe it or not, I have two things that I could think off the bat, and both of them have a horse involved. I had a horse in front of my grandfather's house. It was a one of those the ones with the coils on it that you can hop on
Mhm.
back and forth. And then I have memories of riding on my grandfather's real white horse. He had a beautiful, well, he had horses, he had cattle, and he had a beautiful white horse. And I remember riding on it like with my uncles and all the kids and stuff like that. But I don't remember anything else because I came here when I was 4.5. So I was really young.
Okay. So it also said that you are number 6 of 7 children. And how was that?
Um, believe it or not, like I loved growing up in a big family. I mean, that's all I knew, obviously. But you get a lot of love from, like, I guess from the oldest, all the way down. There's a lot of people until you get to the number 6, which was me. So yeah, I could say that I got a lot of love and attention. And being in a big family, it's just different. It's a different. I think it's different than, like me. I had two children, so it's different having seven versus two. There's just more going on, I guess. I don't know, but I love being raised in a big family. We have a lot of family, a lot of uncles and aunts and cousins, and so I'm good with that.
So being number 6 of 7 children, when did you know that you were different from like the norm, as we would say?
I don't think I ever knew that I was different. Truthfully, I don't think I ever knew that I was different. Um, I recall my first channeling probably at the age of 7, and I didn't even know what that was. I didn't know what that was at all. I seen people dancing around me in the backyard. I happened to be in a backyard where there was nobody, and I remember seeing folkloric dancers dancing around me, and I could hear the music really loudly playing in my ears. And I just looked at this like, wow, like, where did these people come from with these costumes? And I remember just hearing the music and them dancing. And then all of a sudden, poof, it was gone. When my girlfriend came down running, started calling me, it was gone. But I didn't know what that was. And I think I might have been like 6, 7. I was really young. So that was the first time I recall anything. But other than that, I grew up really normal. I didn't, I was always connected to like being raised in church with my mom. She took us to church since we were born. We were born in church. But I didn't see anything but, the love of God that she instilled in all of us. So I didn't see anything abnormal. I don't think anything abnormal went. The only thing I could really always recall was the fact that I would focus in a lot on people. And I didn't understand what that was. I would
Mhm.
focus in a lot on people, like just really observe them to the point of sometimes seeing through them, but I didn't think much of it. I didn't really come into this until I was older in my 30s.
Mhm. Okay. So, I was talking to you before about a conversation that, what you do was considered taboo. Like this is
Mhm.
there's no way a conversation, any of those things. And so when people started finding out that this is what you were doing, what was the reaction from the people?
Well, I call it coming out of the witch closet. A lot of people have a bad connotation when it comes to that word, but that could mean so many amazing things. Like at the end of the day, everything there's good, and in everything there's bad. So if we go into religion, some people use religion for good and for bad reasons. So, I can sit here and condone the people that use it for bad reasons. But then there's people that I know that are going to use it for good reasons because they want people to heal at the end of the day. So, the religions are, different concepts for different people, and it's whatever works for you. For me, as long as you make that connection with God, because I work for myself, but I say to everybody, I work for God. I work for God. And so my connection early on was a connection that my mom provided by taking us to church every Sunday. We were in church. So yeah, breaking into this was a little taboo, and it was a little like, how do I do this? How do I? The more I kept finding out, the more I opened up. I didn't know it was a really scary thing because a lot of people were not out here like that when I started. 10 years ago, I started getting strong onto this journey. I was already practicing from home for a good 10 years before that. So I was really very well versed in the healing practices. I began healing, doing healing work. And I think that's really when I started connecting more to my spirituality, was through my hands. I began doing healing massages, and I seen that people were coming out of these sessions like, I don't like to use the word cured, but healed. They would come out healed. And I would be like, oh my God. And they would say, thank you, Lizette. And I'd be like, don't thank me, thank God. Because that's all God's doing. It's all God. I'm just a vessel. I'm just open up to receiving whatever God has for me. So just thank God. This is all God. And so it started through the work of my hands. And as I would work with people, I would see that I would start burping. And that was another huge thing. And, at first I was a bit kind of like taken by, how am I going to go around burping like this? But at this point of and this stage of the game, everybody who's close to me loves it when I burp because they're like, you see, confirmation, you see, or I'm clearing energy. So I learned that you cannot hide what God has given you. These are gifts, and gifts are beautiful. They're a present from God, and we all have them. All of us have this. Just not everybody is willing to tune in, but I decided to tune in. I decided to tune in once I seen all these things happening. My work through my hands, my healing practice is called Healing Hands. That's how that name came about. Healing through my hands. My parents, both of them, before they passed away, they happened to give me the same message. They said, Lizette, do not let that gift that you have die out. Use that gift that God has given you. And so I kept working. I kept working with my hands. I kept working with people. I kept burping. I would yawn. And I would receive these connections that will let me know if I was clearing energy or if the energy was changing for some reason. So I became really good at reading energy. I work energy. I am an energy worker for many years. So I know how to connect to energy. I know how to change the energy. The energy will change the atmosphere. It will help transform the people. That's how I went into the coaching program. Everything has led me somewhere, everything. And at that point, even with the tarot cards, at first I didn't start with tarot cards. I started with the oracle cards. And the oracle cards are really conveying messages, different messages, whatever it is, whether you need to drink more water, you need to connect to sunlight, or you need to, whatever, it just messages. And through those messages, I was still channeling in more information besides what was in that card. So how do you deny these things? And these things are not of the devil, how people will portray this at church before. I'm sorry to disappoint those people, but this is all, these are all gifts from God. And there are no mistakes here. I know very well who I serve, and I've always served the same from the beginning until now. Now it's just a stronger, deeper connection because I pay attention and I allow myself to be that vessel, whether I'm working through my hands. At this point, I left the massages years ago. It just started becoming a little bit too heavy for me, the way I was picking up people's energies. And I had done it long enough. So I prayed to God and I said, God, allow me to continue to be able to heal people through my voice, through my eyes, through my knowing, through my just being present around people. Allow me to continue to provide that healing for people because people really need a healing. So many people, I want to say that 10 out of 10 people need some form of healing. 10 out of 10. You know what that means? That's everybody.
Absolutely.
Everybody. So coming out of that witch closet wasn't easy, but my passion was bigger than anything else. The seeds that got planted in me over 10 years ago and told me you're going to be a motivational speaker. And I said, how is that possible? That's how this whole story started. That was the first seed that was planted to be a motivational speaker. And I said, where is this coming from? I don't have anybody in my family that's a motivational speaker or anybody in my circle. I've seen them before, but I don't have anybody in my circle like that. And I never thought that would be me. Um, but one thing led me to another. One thing led me to another. And I'm here. I'm practicing. I love what I do with a passion. You can't tell me otherwise. I don't care where, what church you can come from. You cannot tell me that this is not legit gifts from God. So I love what I do and I'm happy to serve every single day of my life until my last breath. So that's how I feel about it. So that I think I don't know if this answered your question. That was a big answer.
It did. A lot of stuff that we don't see in the beginning of the things that are getting us to the next step in our lives. Um, we have talked about the pauses, the hurts, the pains, the growth, the losing jobs, quitting jobs to um God, what are you up to? Because nothing takes him by surprise at all. It might take you by surprise, but it won't take him by surprise. And so we don't understand that some of the things that we had to go through in life is actually setting us up for a bigger cause, a bigger picture, a bigger financial gain, whatever the case may be. Didn't know again that helping people, connecting people, helping them to heal, helping them to turn the mirror on themselves was going to get us here and having a conversation with you. Um and again, it was told to me um by God, I don't know if it was this year or last year, that I was going to become the help that I once needed, whether it was advice from people, whether it was connecting, getting help from people. Um I don't want people to lose time or go through life hurting when there's somebody close to them that can help them get over, get past, and move forward. So I know that is my gifting, what part of it, gifting that God has given me to make sure that people really understand there's a purpose of why you're here. And there's a reason, and you got to find out what it is before the time is taken from you. You got to find out because I had a pilot on not too long ago, and he said something that really struck with me, and it stays with me. Is as a pilot, you're in control outside of the weather, of course, but you're in control of a lot of people's lives. And he said it's very important that we all stay on time and on target because what happens when we're delayed, we people behind us, or even the people that we're with, will miss their connecting flight. And I was like, that's deep. So again, we all have to be in our place If not, there will be people that's gonna miss their connecting flights because we wasn't in place.
That's right.
So,
It's called being in
was
alignment.
there huh?
It's called being in alignment.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I got people trying to figure out what's going on with this Facebook thing.
Yeah,
Mm-mm-mm.
sometimes there's technologies does its thing.
Um. So again, are you the only girl out of your siblings?
Oh no, we're five girls and two boys.
Wow. Okay. Um. Is anyone else in your family does channeling or no?
No. How would I say? Quite a few are highly sensitive and do have a certain knowing with spirituality and connections. And
Discernment.
I'm sorry.
Discernment.
Yeah, they have discernment and but nobody practices. I
Okay.
practice. Yeah.
Have you ever had a moment where something actually spooked you?
Wow. Um I've had, let's just say I've had a lot of moments. Um I don't get spooked per se. I don't know how to explain to you, but it's almost like a fear that I want to face. So it's not scary for me like that per se. Um I just feel like if there's something not right, I want to face it. Like I want to see it face to face. But I think maybe the most spooked out I've been has been, I want to say, through dreams, because when I have for years get up maybe in the middle of the night at 3, 4, I don't know, in the morning. Those are called the bewitching hours, like from 3 in the morning to 6 in the morning, where the veil is very thin. So that's a perfect timing for anybody who is going to do prayers, meditations, even do spells and things of that nature. Those are the perfect hours. And so I will be woken up at that time, night after night after night after night. What I would do is I would get up and I would pray and meditate. And whatever, if I had something in question, I would ask God to reveal it to me in my dreams, because every time I would go back to sleep, that's when I would get the visions. That's when I would get answers to my questions. So I have fought spirits in that time when I'm sleeping. When I go back to sleep at that time after the middle of the night, I don't necessarily have to pray on something per se. If there is a situation, I would be praying on that, but I can go back to sleep and start having um, dreams where I am fighting spirits, fighting them off people, um, interrupting whatever they're doing. And basically, it's like what they call spiritual warfare or something of that nature. But it's basically fighting off these energies. And so I think maybe a few of those have maybe spooked me out a little bit, but I don't know. I'm just very well versed in this. And like I said, I know who I serve, so I know what I'm here for. And I'm here to help the people.
So tell the people about the butterfly, your coaching. And I think a lot of people should have that type of help when it comes to acting out on your dreams, acting out on your idea to become an entrepreneur. So can you tell them about that?
Yeah, the first program that I started my coaching on, I had the name for it a year before I actually had the program. I was given the name already, the Fly Butterfly Movement. I just didn't know what it was going to be. I thought it was probably going to be a workshop or something like that of that nature. And no, 1 year later, I started the coaching program. It's been open now like 4 years. And the Fly Butterfly Movement, basically, like I explain it to my clients, is basically you start out in the cocoon, just like a caterpillar. You start out in the cocoon. The cocoon is basically this universe. This is where we are delivered, where we're born into this universe. Once we're born, we come into another cocoon, which is this, where we're at, where we're raised by our parents, we do our schooling, get married, have children, whatever it is. But we're kept in a certain cocoon, the matrix, like like they call it the matrix. We're kept in this ideal way of living where everybody from our parents to our teachers are basically structuring our way of living from early on. We're supposed to go to school, get an education, maybe find a husband or wife, get married, have a kid. Oh, I forgot the college thing. And it goes like by those steps. And this is what we have all been basically programmed to live. Being inside that cocoon, a lot of times that is your reality, and thinking that you cannot have more than that when
Mm,
that is not true. We live in a very abundant universe. Working the law of attraction, I learned this early on. The law of attraction is very much working for us all the time, all the time. And if we believe in the fact that abundance is our birthright, we can have anything we want. We can have access to a lot of things. So, because we're in a very abundant universe, there's a lot of everything, but we're conditioned to think that we can only have but so much. Or just like people walk around very moody and unhappy, and if they see you very happy, they think that's very abnormal. Like it's normal to be grumpy, unhappy, miserable, having to make house payments, and you have a lot of house bills, and you have the pressures of all this life, when you can simplify all of that and maybe live a bit happier under happier circumstances, waking up in the morning believing that it's a great day today. Today is a day where I'm going to have everything I want. I'm going to connect in every which way I want. I live such a peaceful life right now. I never thought this was possible. Years ago, I never thought this could be. And I live a very, very peaceful life. I'm so thankful, so thankful. But this came within time. It's like acquired. It comes with time and conditioning and living a certain way. So I broke out of that mold. I broke out of the matrix. Inside that matrix is where a lot of people get stuck. And this is what I teach in the coaching in the Fly Butterfly movement, is how to get them out of that cocoon so they could transform into that beautiful butterfly by healing the wounds, by healing all that conditioning that has been instilled and programmed into you since you're a child, since you're little. We break out of that mold so that you can learn that there's a new way for you to live with gratitude, with happiness, with believing that you can achieve what you want, that you can have good children, that you can have a good partner. We can't go around thinking that everybody's so messed up that you cannot find a good husband or a good wife. So again, this is conditioning because we see a lot of divorces, a lot of what has happened. So everybody thinks, oh, right now is the worst time in the world to be married. Absolutely not. If you believe in your spirit, God is going to deliver an amazing person to my life. People can ask, why am I still single? I was married for 25 years. So I know what it is to be on that side and this side. I've been single for a while now. So why, if you're such a, love guru, I have love potions that I sell to my clients and all. If you're such a love guru, why aren't you married? Because God needed my attention. God needed to condition me, to make me the polished diamond that I am. In his timing, he will connect me to whoever he wants to connect me to at the right time. So it's breaking out of that old conditioning is what I teach in the fly butterfly movement. And so that's one part of my coaching. Now I've incorporated another part into the coaching, which is the more entrepreneurial side. People wanting to be self employed. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been self employed for a number of years. Most of my life, I've been self employed. But there's a lot of people that have businesses that are really good businesses that they can put out here with hobbies that they do certain things that are hobbies can be converted into businesses. They just sometimes they just don't know how to. But I've been saying this for a long time and it's happening. Finally, we're living it. The 9 to 5s are going out the window. The 9 to 5s, a lot of them are becoming non existent. There's stores closing up in the malls. There's stores, commercial properties right now that are closing up. People are closing businesses. Online businesses are growing. I happen to like buying clothes online too. I like to buy certain things online because it's accessible, it's easy, blah, blah, blah. This is what where we were led to. I've been practicing this for a while, and this is I teach all this in my coaching. Let's get you into self-employment. Let's get you making money because we don't know if that 9 to 5 is going to be available within some time. So if we start working on this right now, we can have you ready. So by the time you're ready to exit that 9 to 5, you've already been building up your business. So times are changing, and this is what I teach in the coaching, how to get into alignment with your career path. A lot of students go to college and don't know what career path they want. They go to college and they take business because maybe, maybe I'm supposed to be a businessman or woman. Or they go into medicine because mom, dad wants them to be a doctor.
Doctor, yeah.
Meanwhile, they don't want to do that. Meanwhile, they didn't want to be a doctor. They wanted to be maybe a fashion designer. So, and I'm already burping here. So I'm clearing energy around that. That's telling me that this is, and I already know this, this is something really, really important out here is people really getting into the right career paths, is being in alignment with that. So that's a lot of what I teach in my coaching.
Wow. A lot of times, like you said, we get stuck in the matrix in the mode of doing the norm. When you're a person that don't accept the norm, they call you weird. Like, like you're something's wrong with you. Uh-oh, I'm belching too.
Well,
So
that means
again,
we're connecting.
right. I'm like, what is that? So again, it's the moment that um we have to be different and accept our differences.
Right.
I gotten to a point now I literally don't want to work for nobody else. I want to have fun. I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And of course, the money is like, okay, I don't have to do anything to belittle myself. I'm into a place of helping, and the heart that I have, God is going to honor that, and He's going to put me right where I need to be. Again, I know this, with a shot of a doubt, is going to happen sooner than I think, and
Hmm.
so I have to stay in that mindset. Again, when you have come through the trials and tribulations of life, which try to get you to go to an early grave, and it's like, no, I need you. I need you here in 2022. I need you here however long God has me here. And it's okay, now that you have spared my life, you gave me grace and mercy. Now I have to do this, whatever you calling me to do, because I don't want to be that person. You come back and you're like, I gave you gifts and talent and you just buried it in the ground.
Hmm.
No, we're not doing that. So again, the opening up to be awakened, to really know who you are. And sometimes it does take the moments of digging through all the hurt, digging through all the pain,
Ooh.
going back to remembering why this happened. Some causes had nothing to do with you, but you got the tail end of it. Or I won't say bad marriages, but it helped me to be where I am now. I had the lessons to learn. Some things I did wrong, some things he did wrong. But at the end of the day, we decided as adults this is not working. So those things, those lessons I learned from that helped me to cultivate where I am now in my building with this marriage. I don't plan on getting married again. So this is it. So um those things again to understand that those tears God has in a bottle. They all meant something. And he's gonna pay me back for those things. Long as I stick to the blueprint that he created, not that I created for myself or the world created, but what he created for me. I'm gonna get there. Y'all gonna read about it, y'all gonna tell about it, and y'all gonna understand that yeah, we all been through those moments. Um, so yeah, I'm excited for all those who join the path of finding out who they really are.
Well, it starts when you said before, talked about awakening. For me, it began with a breakup, a relationship that I had. And I chose to put an end to the situation. And it put me into great suffering at that point. Suffering because I started asking a lot of questions like, who am I? What am I here for? And all of us, right before that awakening moment, we stop and ask ourselves, who am I? What am I here for? Um, and it started there. I started questioning, why am I going through this pain? Why is it necessary to go through this pain? What does this mean? Like, my world is being turned upside down. Everything is changing in an instant. After a breakup, everything is changing. Things begin to be, they turn upside down. But in that moment, that was my pivot moment. Like I explained to my people, when you are ready to be awakened, it might come in the form of shock, it may come in the form of pain, but it might be so painful that it's going to do something within your spirit big enough to change whatever you're feeling in that moment. You just want to stop it, and you'll do whatever you can to stop that pain. So, in the interim, you're going to have to face your fears. And that's what I had to do. In that moment, I had to face all my fears. That's called shadow work. Shadow work is when we face the monster in the face, everything that hurt me, every little wound that was in my spirit that took me to that point of breakage, of putting me inside the pit. All I could see was my head outside the pit and saying, God, help me get out of this pit because I don't know what else to do. I was unemployable for 2 years. Nobody would hire me. I sent out thousands of resumes, applied for this. I even went as low as, me being an entrepreneur, I went as low as I did applications for $10 an hour jobs. They wouldn't even call me for that. For 2 years, I went through that. But during that period, I kept doing the shadow work, facing all the fears, everything that hurt me, that was cutting me down throughout the years, whatever it was, whether it was shame, whether it's forgiving myself, forgiving others for inflicting pain on me, um, for whatever abandonment fears they might have been, because somebody could have abandoned me at one point or another. And these I'm sharing all triggers for everybody. um, I had to face all those fears, everything that had wounded me. And at that time, I remember I had a coach who told me I would cry so much. I would just cry. I sometimes cry daily. It's like an early morning ritual. It's a way of cleansing. But I used to cry so much. I felt the weight of the world. I felt my weight. I felt everything because I was awakening and I was going through the whole transformation. So I was beginning to feel everybody's energy so intensely. I just didn't even understand it myself. Never mind explain this to other people. So it was a very, very, I'm not going to say it was an easy moment, but I had a coach back then. And I remember she would tell me, I would get on every morning. We had an early morning call at 4:44 a.m. every morning. And I did this for a while. And she said, there will be, God has said that there's going to be great miracles coming out of this morning, prayer calls at 4:44, which there were a lot of miracles that did come my way. Even my first granddaughter was born at that time. So blessing after blessing. But at that point, it was so painful facing the fears, everything that had hurt me. And she told me, baby, I know this hurts. Those were her exact words. Baby, I know this hurts. But you know what? Once you walk through that fire, I promise you, you're going to be good. And I walked through the fire. And as another coach told me, Lizette, there are very few people that get to walk through the fire and talk about it. And you're one of them. Because at one point, I asked God, take me, because I'm not doing anything here. Take me. I couldn't take the pain of what I was going through. And I was just like, take me because I'm not doing anything here. Just take me. I couldn't figure it out. I was living in a state of confusion because my whole world was being turned upside down. I was completely going through the transformation that God wanted for me. So that's why when anybody, I don't care what religion you're from, I respect all religions and I believe that they're all here for specific reasons and to help people in certain areas. But I know what has been instilled inside of me or within me. And God did an amazing transformation with me, starting with me, an amazing transformation. And that's why maybe I lost friends along the way, people that were in my life since I was a little girl. I lost people along the way because maybe they felt that I wasn't credible. They felt that maybe I wasn't real or I was making this up or whatever they felt, that whatever I was basically transforming into, they might have felt that this was not legit. But I couldn't fall back. I had to keep moving forward and working through my pain and working through the many layers that I had to remove in order to be the transformation that I am today. I had to leave people behind. And you know
Mm.
what? When God is ready to do something in your life, when God is ready to elevate you, when God is ready to transform you, He's going to remove who He needs to remove from your life. Because if he knows that these people are not going to be beneficial for your walk on this journey, they're going to be removed. So, with all the pain in my heart, yes, some of these, broken relationships, whether they were friendships or boyfriends or whatever you want to call it, they were painful, but I had to leave it behind because God was taking me somewhere.
Mm.
So it's just all about transforming. You have to be ready for that transformation.
Wow. Yeah, you have to. We don't have a choice. We don't like the process most of the time because it's gonna put the mirror in front of us. Um, I was looking and talking about shadow working myself to, deal with some things that I never had resolved, never talked about, never got help for it. So again, we all should have those moments of getting that done, um, and you'll be a better person for it. So again, I know our time is almost up. And I
Just to
found
let
out.
you know that I'm sorry to interrupt you, but just to let you know, it is a tough process. The transformation is not an easy process.
Mhm.
It's not. You have to see you're ugly before you can see you're pretty.
Mm.
And it's not an easy process. And I'll tell you something, what I do is help people through that process. There's some people that will get there, but will not come through. Some people will refuse it and will lay back a few more years before it comes up again.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, I'm definitely open to surrendering all and getting it all out so I can fully help people. Um and as they always say, you know, the first sermon is to the preacher, to the person that's helping. Um it's a easier path to take to be able to tell you I've been through that. I overcame that, and so now I'm telling you how to do it. So now you can do the same and pass it on and pass it on, and that's
That's
how that
right.
works. So we're all walking toward that same goal, whatever it is. It's not a race. I mean, it is a race, but it ain't like that. It's an individual thing. I'm not trying to outshine you. I'm not trying to do none of that. I'm trying to work out things in myself as well, so I can be a better version of myself.
That's
I
right.
have come a long way, but there's still a lot to go.
It's all a process, and it's all a process. Like I said, not everybody is willing to do the process. And no, it's not a race. We have all a different imprint. Each and every one have our own imprint. What I do is I go to that imprint and I help bring it out so that you can develop everything that you need to develop. And so, everybody has their own process. So, no two are alike, basically.
Right. And as like I said, everybody has to deal with that. Again, I'm gonna have to try to figure out what's going on with this Facebook thing. So again, I appreciate you.
I'm gonna request your program that maybe you need to do a part two on this one.
Yes, we're gonna have to do another one. Um, and that's not a problem either. But
It's
I have
way
to
too
figure
much
out what's going on with
information
this.
to squeeze in just like that.
So I'm gonna figure out what's going on with that. Because I can't be in Facebook jail for no 30 days. That's not gonna happen.
Good
But
luck.
anywho, for those who are live on the YouTube channel, and hopefully somehow this can be passed on from this recording, so I can pass it to you, so you can put it on your pages as well. Again, thank you for coming through this evening to talk with us. And next time we won't have this issue again.
And I want to remind everyone, if you're not part of my community, please join in the Healing Hands community. We've been open for over 8 years and bringing motivation and inspiration on a daily basis. And I come on every morning and I put on messages. There are a few mornings here and there that I might not step in, but I have a host of admins that are also on there posting motivation and inspiration to help people going every single day, so that they can just connect to their higher selves and feel better and be motivated. And I get it all the time. People telling me, Lizette, thank you so much. I look forward to your morning messages. That gives me so much inspiration for the rest of the day. So I feel like I'm doing something. So listen, we're going to go all the way to the Oprah show. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I know it's going to happen. I'm going to be there on Super Soul Sunday with Oprah Winfrey on the OWN channel.
Absolutely, I believe it. Again, everyone, thank you for if you're on the YouTube channel, please like, share, and subscribe. Again, we'll figure out what's going on with this Facebook thing. Again, we're live on Twitch, Twitter, GrooveRadioDetroit.com. And again, we believe in 6 degrees of separation. We are one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. And we are out.
Thank you for
See
having me.
ya. Bye bye.